Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games, episode 254. Yes, sir. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games.
Jeez, that got violent right there at the end.
Man, Remy.
You serious about these games?
I was trying to let them know. Got to let them know off the bat, just in case it's their first time listening. And they're like, what is this podcast all about? And we're like,
it's about love.
Games and life and games, baby.
Games.
Games.
Gime. How would you spell Gimes? Like GAHHHMES. Gimes.
Yes. It's not an awesome word unless it has two H's back to back.
And two A's now. We'll add two A's and two H's. Gimes.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
We need to change our logo. Married to the guys.
Let's do it. I got it.
Chris McCracken.
Yes.
What it do? That.
You sell your house yet? That's going to be my question of the week every week. You sell your house yet?
Jeez. Well, I'll get there here in a second.
Yes.
Gosh.
Jumping the gun.
Yeah.
You could just answer it.
He won't. No, he has to set it up. He sets it up.
Well, okay, fine.
Gotcha.
I'll jump.
No.
The answer is
we're breaking order. Let him set it up.
The answer is potentially. I mean,
Nice.
Oh,
I love
that's
it.
good news.
Go, boy, go.
So we had more showings, throughout the week, last week. By the end of Friday, or I think it was actually Thursday, we had a couple of offers in, and so we kind of mulled over those, and Stacey and I talked about it, and we ended up accepting one of them on Saturday.
Yes.
We went through Friday just to see if anything else showed up because we knew we had a little bit more interest. And then on Saturday, we accepted one. So we're in the option period?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, so we're in that. We had the inspection yesterday. I assume that I'm going to be told, if the inspector found anything. So I guess I haven't heard anything back yet, so I guess maybe sometime today I'll find something.
He'll find something.
Later this...
Yeah, that's what they're paid for.
I'm expecting them to find something, but I don't expect them to find anything major because I feel like our house is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next step is sometime this week as well. The appraiser is going to come in, or maybe that's next week. I'm not sure. And then it's just, we'll see where it goes from there. As I understand it, along the process, the buyer has 4 or 5 times where they can back out. So
yes,
I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's done. Like Stacey was asking me, oh, did they put a sale sign or a sold sign on our sign outside yet? And I was like, well, I don't think that actually happens until it's really sold, all the way through. And we're just in the very beginning here, so let's just see what happens.
What are the terms? Do you have 30 days?
We actually are going to have a little bit more than that because
good.
they're giving us 5 extra days lease back. Well, it's actually they're giving it to us as a courtesy. Just that gives us one more weekend in between Stacey's travels to pack up and try and
get
everything all put away, so that we're hoping that maybe that last weekend we can just. Depending on where we are, that'll be the day that we ask people, hey, can everybody come over? And I think the way that we're going to do it is we're going to rent one of those pod things and have them come drop it off. We'll fill that with everything, and then they'll take it because, they'll put it in their storage area that's climate controlled for, however long it takes us to find the house we're going to move into.
It is amazing how expensive those pods are. We looked into that too. It was cheaper to just get a storage space.
Yeah, I know Stacey's looked into all that stuff. I don't know one way or the other versus, considering our options. I know that she feels like that's the best route for us. So I'm just hey, you handle that one and I'm going to handle the where the heck are we going to live part. So we're kind of dividing and conquering on this.
There you go. Like a team should.
And I know my brother.
Like a team should. Right? That's right.
Yeah, exactly. My brother used the pod, I feel like maybe about a year ago when he moved houses. And for the most part, the entire process, he was really happy with it. The only thing he was unhappy with was he said it took them over a week to come pick it up after they had finished unloading it. And he's like, I got a little irritated with him then because, we can't get into our garage. It's taking the entire driveway up, He's like, so that was a little bit annoying. He said, but everything else in the process, he was very happy with how smooth it was and how it all worked out for them. So we'll just have to see. I mean, right now, that's the plan. Of course, it's 30 days from Saturday, so, things can change. But that's the plan at the
Nice.
moment.
Well, congratulations, man. That's a good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a good step to get to.
That's good to hear.
Yep, I'm looking forward to whatever the next adventure is. And now we're starting to do the hunt for houses. And once you know it, it's like, so we had access to the portal where our realtor was showing us all the houses that met our specifications. And we're seeing all the stuff pop up and we're like, oh, all these great options. And now that we're in a situation where we can actually look, it's like, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Where's all the awesomeness?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting on that stuff to all start to flutter back in. The good thing is that the areas that we're looking to go, there's been a lot of stuff popping up just over the weeks. So I'm expecting more to pop up over there. So I feel like we're going to be able to get in the vicinity that we would like to be. So it's just a matter of waiting until the right thing shows up.
Yeah. When the timing is perfect, the timing will be perfect.
Yeah. It'll all happen when it's supposed to.
Well said, Ed. That's deep.
Thank you. Right. I like to state the obvious.
Yep.
Yeah. What else, Christopher?
So I'm going to back up just a little bit. So Stacy is in Austin right now working. She was working last week. And then this is her last week. She'll be coming home on Friday, possibly Thursday. They're thinking they might be able to finish up what they're doing a day early.
Oh, very nice.
Because it's just South Texas, she actually drove down there.
Oh, nice.
And last week, one thing that you guys may not really be aware of is that Stacy, ever since I've known her, has always been like a really big Linkin Park fan.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so last week, when all the news came out about Chester... I mean, my heart sunk just because it's sad to see, a young person go through something like that and have an outcome. But then on top of that, knowing that, oh my gosh, because Stacy's working overnights. And I was like, oh man, when she finds this news out, it's going to really hit her pretty hard. Like I was like, oh man, should I be the one to break it to her? I don't even know. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, she had found out before I even knew she was awake. It was like one of the first things she saw on her phone when she woke up before she let me know, hey, I'm up. And so she's been really bummed about that. And it's kind of been weighing on her a lot, as you might imagine. And so she kind of wrote something to me that she wanted to kind of share with the community, because she's gotten really attached to us, obviously, and our community as a whole, because she's been so well embraced here.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think this is something that I'm going to read to you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and hold it off. We're going to read it at the end of the show, like after the credits, because I want to make sure that it's given its due, and I don't want to break things up throughout the beginning of the show. But this is something that Stacy kind of had weighed on her, and it's kind of out of her element to just write something and say, I'm feeling compelled for people to hear this.
No, I love it. That's great.
So I definitely want to share that because it's straight from her heart. It really speaks to her character and who she is. So
heck yeah, man.
So if you're so inclined, stay after the credits and you'll hear what it is that Stacy has to say to you guys.
Yeah. It was so tragic too because Linkin Park had and has a huge following, and a lot of it is based on the fact that and I've always felt they've had this theme is that from pain comes hope, and from your past experiences comes new life, and like they've always been very positive, and I've loved them for that. And then something like this comes along, and it's just one of those really unfortunate things where there was obviously some things that were not necessarily overlooked, but things that were there were still demons there, basically. I mean, and that's hard to break, and especially when you're in the public life like that. And I understand that Chester was really close with Chris Cornell as well, and so I'm sure something like that could have rattled his cage as well. But yeah, it's absolutely unfortunate. I mean, young guys and great band, great following, great message, and it's awful.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Hated to see that. This week.
Really.
I was a huge fan too.
Yeah,
I was a huge fan back in the day.
So I'll just kind of move on, continuing on with my week. So this coming weekend, like I said before, since Stacey was just down in South Texas, she came home this weekend.
Oh,
and
nice.
She actually surprised me because I knew she was coming home on Friday, and this past weekend was our anniversary. And so my plan was to come home from work or leave a little bit early on Friday, maybe like midday or so, and then gather up some stuff. Like I was going to have some flowers and balloons and a card and stuff and have them there so that when she showed up, they were already there. Well, well, I'm getting ready for work on Thursday, and she texts me, and I'm like, and she says, hey, are you up? And I know she gets off around the time that I'm getting ready for work.
Wow.
And I said,
That's
and I was
crazy.
like, oh, but she just goes straight back to the hotel and goes to bed, because she's zonked. And so she called me actually, or she said, where are you? And then she called right after that. And I said, hey, I'm just getting ready. I was brushing my teeth. And I said, what are you doing? Are you just now getting back to the hotel? And she's like, I'm pulling into the garage.
Hey.
So she surprised me that morning,
That's
and I didn't
awesome.
have any of my stuff, so I ended up getting it later on and giving it to her. But that was
That's
really
great.
cool that she was able to do that, and she was able to pull it off of me. They got finished early that Thursday, and she's like, "I'm just gonna drive straight home." And she said she wasn't speeding and driving crazy, but she's like, "I was
that's
so
awesome.
hurrying to get home." She's like, "I can get there right before you leave if I hurry." And sure enough, she made it, and so that was a really cool thing.
That's
That's
great.
awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it was really
That's
awesome.
sweet of her.
How many years now?
We're at 7 years.
Yes.
Nice.
There you go.
Yep. Time has
Congratulations.
flown. Yeah, it's been
Yeah, that's
awesome.
great.
And then so on Saturday, she hosted at our house a Rodan and Fields / Pampered Chef party.
Hey, all right.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah, so she had invited a bunch of people over, and then Kale and Katie came over. And
Put
Katie
this
was
on your
really-
face, put this in your belly.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
I like it.
Katie was very much in part of the party, and then Kale and I just went into my office and played video games. all
That's
day.
right.
What'd you guys
As you
play?
do. As
Yeah,
you do.
he brought over his PS4, and so we hooked them both up in my office, and we were playing Destiny 2 beta PvP together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Great.
just in the same room chatting with each other rather than having to do it over headset, and that was kind of fun.
So great.
That's great, man.
The event went really well. So they got some people to buy for some of the Pampered Chef and Rodan stuff, so that was awesome. And then, unfortunately, Sunday was actually our anniversary, but basically Stacy had to get up and then drive back to Austin. So we didn't get to spend a lot of time on our actual anniversary, but we got to spend a good amount of time on the anniversary weekend, so that was
That's
really
great,
good.
man.
So
That's
she's back
awesome.
down in Austin, working her tail end off, doing her best.
Right.
And then on Sunday morning, I got to be a guest on We the Gamercast.
Oh,
Sean
Hey,
Capri's-
all right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I think we've all done it now, although Ed's was lost to the ether because there was technical difficulty.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
And
right.
he told me, he's like, I've got to get him back on. I feel so bad about that.
That's so
I was
funny.
like, yeah, you do. Because
You know what's
I'm
funny?
waiting.
Ours had technical difficulty too.
Really?
Yours is the only one. You guys did it actually in person, right?
Yes, and we
Because you were in Edmonton, weren't you?
Yeah, because I was in Canada, and we sat down
Yeah.
to do it, and then he was like, I don't have any of my audio from my,"
Oh,
or did
that's
he
right.
forget? It was either he didn't have any audio, or I think he forgot to bring mic cables or
Well,
something
I was
like
gonna
that.
say,
It was
I
like,
think it was a cable.
It was a cable
Yeah.
issue. 'Cause yeah, that's
and
awesome.
so we had to use just my microphone or something like that. It was
Yeah.
hilarious. Get
That's
it
great.
together, man. I'm just
I know.
kidding.
Come on. Jeez. Well, I was
feel
just
so
happy
bad
to
for him.
finally be part of the We the Gamer class club.
Yeah.
I was really honored that he
he's
asked
awesome.
me, and it was a lot of fun. So I think that episode might come out this week. It might be next week. I don't remember for sure. But
Nice.
Mhm.
He does a really
if
good
you're
job.
interested in Sean Capri's podcast,
Sean
which you
Capri.
should be because it's a good show, you might want to check that out whenever I am on there, as well as all the rest of his shows. Moving on to gaming. Haven't really played a ton. All I did play was Hearthstone and more of the Destiny 2 beta. I really wanted to get a real solid feel for it.
Yeah. How do you feel now?
I feel better because I feel like I'm acclimating myself.
Hmm.
Part of me was like, I want to go back to Destiny 1
Are you
because
just saying it smells so bad in here, but now I don't smell that bad smell?
Right,
anymore?
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
smelled
now
it
that-
for so
now
long.
the
I mean,
smell is
basically, if you really want to get to it, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
That's kind of it. The thing is that the mechanics are still just as good. So I know I'm going to enjoy the game overall, but part of me was like, I'm going to go back to Destiny 1. And this was a bit all my plan all along. I was like, I'm going to play Destiny 1 the month or so before Destiny 2 drops just to reacclimate myself because I haven't
Yeah,
been
that's a good
playing so
idea.
many other things. But now I'm almost like, man, maybe I shouldn't do that because there's so many little things I like better about Destiny 1. I don't want to just
Right.
underscore the
Might
stuff I'm annoyed
infuriate
by.
Yeah, that could backfire.
So I don't know whether
Yeah.
I'm going to do that or not.
Yeah.
We'll just
You
have
should
to
play it
see.
on silent so you don't hear that jump noise.
Man, I can't do that. Come on now. I use a headset, man. I'm not going to mute the headset. It's a nice headset.
I'm just saying so you
Come on
don't
now.
go back to being like, oh man, see, I like the way it sounded when I used to jump.
Yeah.
So, Chris, are you gonna jump into the campaign first anyway, or are you gonna just gather a bunch of friends and just start going from there when you first get to?
I mean, if there's people playing online when I jump in, yeah, I'll jump in the fire team stuff. I'm assuming that the first missions in the Destiny 2, the official game, is going to be similar to the beta where it just throws you right into the first mission. You can't team up.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I would assume after that is when you can join up with a fire team. That's kind of how it was in Destiny 1. I'm assuming it'll follow suit to some extent with Destiny 2.
Nice.
I plan to definitely play with people as soon as I'm able to.
Nice.
But I'm not going to, I think it comes out on a Wednesday this year. And so instead of a Tuesday, yeah. And Kale and Katie, I know Kale took that week off or those days off.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I told him I actually have a video shoot that week, so I wasn't able to take off any time. And so I'm going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball by the time I get started anyway. So hopefully Kale and them will be like, hey, we'll just show you where to go. And we'll just run me through the first couple of missions and get that done. Because I know for sure I'll play with them. I probably played with them. Kale and Katie are probably some of the people I played the most with in terms of all the fire team stuff. Mm-hmm. But I had a lot of people that I played with, and I know a lot of people are going to be coming back to Destiny or never left Destiny. So I will have a plethora of people, I'm sure, that I can choose from. But I played probably like 30 or 40% of Destiny 1 solo. I mean, I really enjoyed playing the game by myself as much as with people. So I'm not really concerned about if I end up having to play by myself. Because if it's a strike or anything else like that, like there's matchmaking, so it'll team me up with somebody regardless.
Oh yeah.
Whether or not I'm actually chatting with them depends on whether I go into the voice chat channel, but I think it'll be fine either way.
That's great, man.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it for me.
Nice. Tim Router?
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you there, Dad?
Well, little Piper's topic of the week, and Ed, you're not going to like this. Shark Week.
Of course.
Chomp.
She loves Shark Week, man. So we've been watching on Sunday night. We watched that Michael Phelps versus Great White Shark and
digital Great White Shark.
Yeah, I was like, how are they going to do this? And you know what? They actually did a pretty decent job with it, it was pretty interesting. I knew there was no way that he had any chance of out swimming a shark, but
well, that and I was wondering, did they have that shark at full speed? That shark looked like it was swimming slow.
Yeah. I think what they were saying.
I mean, I know it's CGI, but I'm saying it didn't seem like the shark was getting after it.
Right. Exactly, and I think they based it on there was a lot of mathematical equations going on in that whole process behind.
Get your math out of here. Show me a shark.
No, man, it was science.
Throw him in there with a shark.
There was
some plexiglass in between him and the shark, and let them know.
Right? That's what everybody wanted.
I was thinking. It's like maybe it's gonna be a pool with a big glass wall between them or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's impossible, but
here's the only thing. Maybe, I don't know if he's just not great at selling things, but he was on Fallon or something like that a couple days before the show, and he let out of the bag, "We're not in the water at the same time," which I was like, don't say that part.
Yeah, you got to kind of tease him a little. But I mean, I knew that,
let him just think it's going to be all in the same pool.
Yeah, when your promotional campaign is Michael Phelps races a shark, you kind of expect they're going to be racing each other.
I think there's a small percentage of people that are hoping that the shark turns on him or something like that. I don't know, but I did like the way they did it. It was pretty cool, and it was very interesting. But yeah, so we had a good time watching that. Saw Spider-Man this past weekend with my nieces and nephew.
Nice.
How was it?
Piper saw it too and loved it. Oh, it was great. It was really good. I think it's my favorite Spider-Man, to be honest. And I haven't watched them all.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to say, I think.
But yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
I like the first two.
I like the first one. Yeah, the first one was pretty cool. But this one, it's just different. It's wittier, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good.
I'm fine with the first Tobey Spider-Man as well, but I think this one still easily beats it.
Yeah, I kind of wish. Yeah. I kind of wish the introduction to the whole Spider-Man would be this one. It was really, really great. So, and it's interesting to see Michael Keaton play an opposite role of what he originally played with the original Batman, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too, how they did that.
Yeah, it all comes full circle, which I thought was cool. It was Liam's birthday last weekend, and so over the weekend we celebrated his birthday, and I gave him my my old PS4, and we wrapped as the gift was Horizon Zero Dawn. He opens it up, he's like, "Wait, this is a PS4 game," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like,
I thought you meant like you wrapped it like, "I'm giving you my PS4, dog." What?
No, I wasn't gonna do that. That was in the car. Yeah, right. No, come on, man. I'm a little classier than that, I think.
Lauren, drop me a beat.
Yeah, drop me.
She's on the table with some pencils and stuff.
Yeah. PS4. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
y'all should have made that happen.
But he freaked out, and I'm like, I said, hey, this is your game, but we have the PS4 for you. I'm going to let you, it's for all the kids, but I want you guys to have this. And he was just like, oh. So he's been texting me back and forth. He's like, man, this game is so good. And he also got his friends let him borrow the Nathan Drake collection. I'm like, yes, he's on the right path.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm excited. So I've been asking him. It's weird.
Well
like
done.
we've been talking about how like nervous you get with other people when you share games and that. I'm like nervous what he thinks about Horizon and all that
and
stuff.
everything.
But I mean, he's loving it so far. So I'm super excited. So here
I wanted
here
you to
comes
say he unwrapped it and he was like, I'm not allowed to play this.
Right. Yeah, I'll give him Witcher 3 or Mafia 3 or something like that. Be like, hey, this is rated M. I can't technically play this without adult supervision.
Parents don't want me playing this game.
Exactly. No, I cleared everything with Dan and Gretchen. I'm like, hey, this is what I was planning to do for his birthday, and I sent him a link to Horizon, and Dan's like, awesome. And I think Dan actually got in on it too, which was really funny. So that was great for him. Yeah, we had actually 2 cousin days because on Saturday we call them cousin days when we get together, and because Piper just loves her cousins and they love her, and it's so much fun seeing them all together. So Saturday we saw Spider-Man, and then Monday we went rock climbing at this place called the Crag, and it was Piper's first time, and she did awesome. I was like, holy cow, this girl can climb. Cool. Yeah, it's funny. Like she was super nervous at the start and like kind of whiny because they had to put a harness on her, and there's all kinds of little instructions that I would overlook and make sure, and so she's just like, I'm scared. I'm like, honey, just try it. So I attach her to the cable, and then boom, she just goes like a rocket, and then and of course we were all encouraging her, and then she's got this big old smile on her face when she comes back down. But she did great.
Ninja Warrior.
She's got that Ninja Warrior. Yeah, it was really, really cool. So so we had fun with that. It was just I just took a half day off and just wanted to be with family, and it was a lot of fun. Piper's last week of preschool is this week. She is done on Thursday, and then in 2 weeks she goes to kindergarten, which is crazy right now. I can't believe it's happening. So we're there. We did have an option.
Next is prom, pretty much.
I know, right? Exactly.
Right.
And then driving, and oh god, yeah, it's awful.
I don't like any of it.
No. It's so funny. Like everybody says, oh, it goes by so fast. And when you're at the start, you're like, yeah, whatever. But it truly does. It's like, I can't believe that this is happening already. And I mean, her excitement is still there. I think she's going to be a little nervous come day one, but she's going to dive right in, and she's prepared. And the preschool, they loved her. And when I sent the email out saying, hey, we're not going to, typically some parents for August will do like the first 2 weeks at preschool, and we're actually just going to take her out for the whole month so I don't have to pay another month's tuition. And they're like, well, we're really going to miss her. She's completely ready. Be confident in that. And we love her. She's a great kid. And we're like, oh, awesome. So, yeah. Nice. So
that's what you want to hear as a parent.
That's exactly right. So I'm super proud of her. We are going to head up to Michigan this next week to visit some friends, which is really cool. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time in Michigan. These are friends of ours that used to live here. They moved up there, and Lauren and her friend Melanie. They're just a terrific family. They've got 2 girls that love Piper, and Piper loves them too. So we're going to spend a little quality time with them. She had come down a couple weeks ago, and so we had all gotten together and talked about it, and so we want to come up. And I've never really spent a whole lot of time up in Michigan, so I'm excited. So we're going to do a little road trip.
Oh, you're driving them?
Yeah, we're going to drive up there and
stop by and say hi.
How long a drive is that?
She says it's 10 hours. I have no idea where in Michigan we're going right now. So Lauren's planning it all out, and she's just like, hey, we're going to leave this time, and we're going to get this hotel and this. I'm like, great, cool, whatever, that's fine. Yeah. So and that's what
we're going to stay with some friends that we met on the internet.
Exactly. We're going to do some whitewater rafting. I do believe we are going up to a lake of some sort, so that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of excited. Like I love little family adventures, especially if we're all together, and and that's what I love about having my own business is that we can kind of do whatever and pick up and leave, and as long as I get the things done I need to get done, it's fun. So it'll be a nice little bonding time before she kicks into kindergarten. She starts. They do an actual assessment of her on the 10th of August, and then that following Monday they start like half days for that week, and then by August 21st is her first official full day of kindergarten.
Wow.
And an FYI for everybody, schools here in the South usually start mid-August and get out like mid-May. And it still freaks me out because in the Northeast, it was always right around Labor Days when you started school, and then you got out like mid-June.
Oh, really?
So it's
Right.
still, yeah, it's weird. It still throws me. It still throws me off because that's what I grew up with. But yeah, so kindergarten is right around the corner, and it's crazy.
Man.
I can't believe it. On the gaming front, got that platinum for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
So excited. Completed that this past weekend. Love that game. So much fun. And so now I am playing Telltale's Game of Thrones in honor of Game of Thrones being back on HBO, which is fantastic. And loving that. I love that series, and it's so much fun. So playing that, and then I'm jumping right into Mafia 3. So that's
nice.
So
Wow.
yeah, I'm going heavy hitters for like the next couple months because Game of Thrones is like a palate cleanser, and then I go into Mafia 3, and then I've got to hit Watch Dogs 2 before all this other stuff starts kicking out too. So I got some heavy hitter adventure games coming up that's gonna.
So what
take a lot
is
of time
the
out.
first big release coming this fall that you're trying to get all this stuff done before?
Probably I would Fractured Butthole, right? Because that comes out in September.
No, didn't it get delayed to?
I thought that got pushed back again.
I think I got delayed
I
to
think you're
early
right.
next year.
I
Something
think
like
you're
that.
right. I think you're right. So it'll probably be Assassin's Creed.
Gotcha. And that's October, I think, right?
That's
So
October.
you've got a pretty
Yeah.
good window. You can get that stuff done.
So
You can
I should be able to get it going because Far Cry is in February, right? And then
Is it really? Man, it seems so far away.
I know. I'm used to those. Usually come. Those
Jeez.
usually come out November, December too. Like really, that kind of follow Assassin's Creed, but this time it's pushed back a little bit. So
Really? That's when I didn't remember them coming out around that time frame.
Far Cry 4 came out December 8th of what was that? 15?
Huh.
Something like that.
Jeez.
But yeah. So I'm excited. I'm really it was a toss up between Watch Dogs and Mafia. I'm like, I want to kind of do a little back in time kind of video game, and Mafia 3 will fulfill that, and I'm super excited for it. So it'll be
Nice.
great.
Cool, man.
And yeah, that's it for me. Over to you, Ed.
Ed Placencia,
Yeah, sir.
how goes it?
It's been it goes well. Sarah is still out of town.
I was about to say, are you still alone?
I'm still alone. She was in Jacksonville with her. Right. She was in Jacksonville with her brother all this week, which is nice.
cool.
So she got to hang out with him. Canceled another Zumba class just to make sure of her foot, which I was glad about, just because I'd rather she err on the side of being safe than
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to mess
hurting
with
it
it,
again.
especially a foot
Absolutely.
injury.
Yeah. So she now she is 2 days ago she got into Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So she is up there with friends
sweet.
and hanging out at our old coffee shop, making me jealous.
I know. I
And,
saw that post yesterday. I'm like, Ed is probably drooling right now.
Exactly. But it sounds like it's going well. So yeah, she's still out for I think another 2 weeks. So
Oh, wow.
I think that's right. So
Wow.
it's just pretty much playing games here.
Yeah, you are.
Working by day, playing games by night. Also finished Horizon Zero Dawn this week, and
Nice.
it was just so much fun. The story is, it's one of those games where you could very easily. There's so much to listen to audio wise. There's a lot of audio files that you find,
Yep.
Yes.
and you could be very tempted to just like skip it and go on. But man, if you don't, there's so much rich story in that game.
Yeah. There's
that
layers
they
in
put
there.
in there. It's
Doggone
amazing. And then after I finished it, I actually spent the rest of the week watching / listening to Chris's Let's Play of her. I watched the entire thing and just Chris, I just love. First of all, I love your laugh when you're in the middle of a fight and something goes really well for you. Like
It's like an evil laugh.
Yeah, he gets hyped.
So much fun. And then I also love when a story something happens. Anything story-wise, if it's a huge plot point or a reveal, it's just so much fun to experience that with you, even months after you did. So it's just thank you for doing that, man. It's such a good Let's Play to watch.
Yeah, it was a blast. I loved that game. I'm so excited about the DLC that's coming up.
When does that come out?
I think it's this fall.
I think so
I don't
too.
remember I want to say it's in November sometime.
Yeah.
Or October,
right.
maybe.
Maybe playing that then too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I almost got the platinum on it. The only trophy I couldn't get is the hunting grounds where you're timed doing certain things, and I'm just not good at being sneaky fast, which is why those Hitman games always take me forever. I just take my time. Yeah. So I came close, but didn't quite get a platinum on it.
Yeah, those hunting ground ones were one of the last things I got before I did, the final mission as well. And they took me a while. It definitely did.
I can understand that. Yeah, I tried one and when I still didn't make it, I was like, yeah, I can't go faster than that. I'm sorry. So you guys will just have to be happy with me as it is.
That's right. Exactly. Take me as I am.
Exactly. My brother-in-law Nathan came over. We finished Gears of War 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember last week, Gabe, you mentioned that you couldn't really get into it. It didn't really hook you. Yeah. And we both agreed that if we played it by ourselves, we probably wouldn't have finished it.
Okay. Yeah, see? Yeah, sure.
But together, we had a blast. We were screaming. We were laughing.
There's a stream that junk.
Oh my gosh, I know. I totally should have. And
yeah, you should have.
There's a scene in there that it kind of reminded me of Uncharted 4's motorcycle chase, the one they showed at E3, kind of like the big exciting.
I remember that.
That rivals that as far as like how much fun it was.
Oh wow.
It was, and especially with two people playing, it was just so much fun. I was really surprised by how much we liked it. So yeah, the humor in that game it really caught me off guard. So it was such a good time. So I think we're gonna go back and try a couple of the other Gears games. Talking with some people in the community, and they're saying, yeah, the others are a lot of fun. Maybe stay away from this one, but this one's really good. So we might dip our toes into that and see what those are like. I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed 2. I've forgotten all the controls after Horizon.
Yeah, right.
And so then I decided to jump into What Remains of Edith Finch.
I really want to play this game, and I've been so close to pulling the trigger a few times. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are.
I loved it.
Wow. Oh man, I gotta get it.
It was really, really well done, especially knowing what a small team it was that did the game. It is, I said during my playthrough, I need to play a Lego game after this because I need something to kind of put me in a good mood again, just because it's such a dark premise. And the things you experience are they hit you really hard. They hit you. It's an emotional game. I didn't know if it was going to be a scary game. I had no idea what to expect. And it just kind of explores the Edith Finch family, and each person they explore, they tell the story in a completely different way. So one might be a comic book. One might be, they did a really fantastic job. The detail in the game is incredible. I went through after I played it, I think 2 more times just to experience it again.
Wow.
And it's one of those games that's so layered that something that happens the first 10 minutes is you'll get a payoff at the end of the game, but in the first 10 minutes, your first time playing, you don't know it's a payoff yet, or a hint, or a guidepost. And so it's just really cool to see what they've put in there that you're so unaware of the first time through. So
how long does it take to play?
Yeah, it's only a couple hours, right?
Yeah, it took me just a little over 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Because it's only, at least when it first launched, I think it was only like a $20, $25 game. Is it still about that price?
Yeah, I think it was, $19.99, I believe is what it was.
And I believe it just recently released on Xbox as well. So you can get it there now.
And that's actually why I saw it, as I was looking through what's new on Xbox, and I saw that there.
Oh, is that where you played it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because that really threw me for a loop, because I thought it was going to be a lifetime exclusive to PlayStation because it's Giant Sparrow, and I thought that I had read somewhere that they had a deal with them where Unfinished Swan was on the PlayStation and the Vita, and I thought I had read something that's similar to like that game company. They had like a 3-game deal where it was going to have these exclusives. So when it jumped to Xbox, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Which, granted, I haven't played it yet, but I've heard nothing but amazing things. So the more people that can play that game, the better.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm definitely getting it now. I think I might buy it so that I can play it before Destiny 2 drops.
And what's really cool is all of the hints and nods they give to the Unfinished Swan.
Oh, and nice.
The game actually, the two games take place together in the same world, if that makes any sense. So it's just kind of cool to see. Afterwards, I went back and redid the Unfinished Swan, and it was just really cool to see how they tied the two together.
Yeah.
If the Unfinished Swan had a platinum, I would have gotten it because I finally did the achievement of, if you're unfamiliar with the game, it starts off the screen's entirely white and you're throwing black splotches of paint, and that's what reveals the background and what have you. And that's how you can go through the swamp and up the stairs and through the castle and blah, blah, blah. And they have an achievement to pass that first level throwing less than 3 balls of ink.
I saw that.
I finally got that achievement, and I was like, yes, platinum unlocked. And then I realized it doesn't have a platinum. So I just I was so bummed.
It looks like Edith Finch, at least on the PSN right now, is 25% off too. So,
oh, nice.
Purchase.
Yeah, definitely. Such a fun game.
Nice.
And then, 2 days ago, Chowfie reminded me on Twitter that Mafia 3's DLC Sign of the Times came out yesterday, Tuesday, and jumped on that. And oh my gosh, that game, the DLC has been so worth it. They did 3. This is the 3rd one, and every one of them has been different. How
long are they generally?
Usually about 2 hours. This one definitely was longer than 2, which was cool. There was a lot in this one, and it was just each time they come out with a DLC, they introduce a new mechanic that they hadn't previously, and it's cool how it enhances the game. And where the first DLC was more of a car racing game, the second one was more of a buddy cop adventure, and this one is more of kind of an investigation type game where they kind of introduce some fun new mechanics and what have you. And man, that game, it's so well done. The voiceover was again, they do such a good job with who they cast. So I had a great time with that. So that was a good time yesterday.
Was it a character that was in the regular game in this one too?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yeah, there was some familiar and then some new as well.
Cool.
That's really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. They just really. Hangar 13 did a great job with that series. This is, like I said, the last DLC that comes out for the game, and I was kind of bummed about that just because, I just loved being in that world so much. I looking forward to see what they come out with next. But
nice.
Yeah, that was
sweet.
That was my week, I think.
Nice,
Mr. Patillo.
Yeah.
Golf.
Go.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, finished up golf camp. That was fun. It was nice to get to dive into some video games last week and play all that Destiny and everything like that. That was so nice. And then I come home for I was gone until Thursday, came home for like half of Thursday, and then left Friday again for the road.
Mm-hmm.
And a weird turn of events, man. Jenny's grandmother died.
Oh no!
Like those 2 days I was home. The first day I got home, all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you might want to come say your goodbyes." And it was like, "Wait, what? Wait, what?"
Wow!
And so she spent like 6 hours down at the hospital, and then an hour and a half before I leave for the road on Friday, she passed away.
Oh man!
So that was sad. You always obviously hate to lose a family member, but then there's the other side of no more suffering, which is great too, because she was sick, but it's still. She wasn't that sick, so it was just kind of like, but she just kind of declined really, really fast, and so that was sad. And so like went on the road and kind of had that hanging over, and came home, and then had to do the visitation on Monday, and then the funeral was yesterday, and so it was one of those things where it was weird because we've been like living for me to get off the road, like because now the rest of the year is not that busy, where this year has been pretty stinking busy for it not to be a release year. album release year. And so now we were like, okay, if we could just make it to Wednesday past these funerals and everything like that and try to get back to some normalcy.
Right.
So Jenny's doing okay with it. Obviously, it was extremely sad the last 4 days. But now that it's kind of like we've lived in it, for 4 or 5 days and, kind of did the thing. And now we're kind of like, hopefully today we'll be walking out of it and have some good time with family today. Amara, it's funny because she's 5. And so everything is very cut and dry to her.
Yes.
And so it's not necessarily sad. She didn't know her that well. And so it wasn't that sad to her, but like death overall isn't sad to her, which is funny because it's a great reminder of like, this is a thing that happens in life and you have two choices. You can and obviously people go through crazy things. People lose children, people lose spouses, people lose people way before time. This was not one of those situations. So walking through it with Amara is like, oh man, she's like, well, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of on to the next thing, which you don't want to treat it like that and just like, yeah, she's dead. So let's keep it. But there was a sense of like, all right, that chapter's closed.
You're right.
She's in a better place. She's not, suffering anymore. She doesn't have to, she's not laid up in a bed, can't talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, you'd much rather her move on. And so from where she was, at least. So, it's interesting walking through it with a 5-year-old and she just, there's not really any emotion attached to it. So it's just an interesting way to view it. But, so I'm home for a little bit. I got my shed delivered last Friday as well. Nice. That I've been talking about. So the next steps is to kind of outfit it and get electricity going to it and all that stuff. It'll be a slow process till I'm like actually in there. But the fact that it's in the backyard,
for a toilet and a shower, and you just live
up there. I'm not doing all that.
A little kitchen,
right? Exactly, a little kitchenette. And so exactly. Yeah, man. So just life's kind of doing its thing, throwing punches, and we're trying to bob and weave them and keep her moving. Gaming wise, I didn't get any in this last weekend just because the trip was so fast up and back. I mean, I play a little NBA Playgrounds in my bunk.
Oh, nice.
And I bought Watch Dogs 2 and Yakuza 0.
Oh, wow.
And
nice.
So I want to get back on my YouTube game. And so I'm probably going to do that with Yakuza
nice.
0 when that gets here in a couple days since I'm home and have some time.
Right.
So I've been doing the voiceover thing, been auditioning.
Oh, that's great, man.
Doing some jobs there. And so that's been really fun because I love that. And I think that's about it.
Nice, man.
Nice, man. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great that you have some time finally to just kind of...
Dude, it feels like I can breathe. Like I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's like a weight's been lifted. That's good. You need you have been running and gunning.
Woo! What it feels like, man.
The first half of this year, for not being an album release, like you've been on the road.
I know,
quite
we've been
bit.
Gone. Yeah.
So it's great. So now you can kind of enjoy.
Exactly. So I'm trying to sit back, relax, play some video games.
Yes, sir.
Put on your traveling gear. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, I got a list of things I need to do for the house.
Yeah.
But they all cost money, so we can only do those slowly.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I want to like get done the house stuff I need to do, and then then gaming won't feel so I won't feel guilty about gaming.
Yeah, I know, right? You get that gamer guilt. You're like, I really should be doing this, but I really want to do this.
Exactly.
I did that all through Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, I really should be doing a little work right now, but I really want to play this instead.
Yeah, gamer guilt for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Router, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's do it.
All right, we got some new releases this week, as my buddy Eduardo has said. Mafia 3, Sign of the Times, PC, PS4, Xbox One. Go
Don't stop
get it.
your crying, it's the sign of the time.
There you go. Well done.
I wonder if they had that title already, or when Homeboy released that song, they were like, "Ooh, Sign of the Times, I like that."
Yeah, right.
And then use
I
that
don't know.
for DLC. Because I think DLC you could switch stuff up pretty easily, especially when it comes to a title. Unless there was a title screen. Was there a title screen that said Sign of the Times, Ed?
I feel like when they released when they announced the DLC that they gave the titles.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also a poster for this DLC as well.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like digital assets and things.
It's pretty
There you go.
amazing.
But who knows?
I remember Telltale saying that with The Walking Dead, they would name all the chapters, even though at that they didn't even know what they were going to be about when they released the first episode. They didn't know how it was going to end.
Ooh.
Oh,
And
that's
so
interesting.
They intentionally made like they're all like kind of vague names. They don't really tie into anything specific.
Right.
They're like, Lee walks.
I know.
Dunk the chocolate chip cookie. Oh, how are we going to get there?
Fred gets stabbed.
Clementine blinks. Yeah.
Exactly.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's interesting. For the Nintendo Switch Overcooked Special Edition,
Oh, there you go.
Fortnite
Special.
for the PC. Special. Fortnite for the PC, PS4, Xbox One. Pyre for the PS4 and PC. Lego Worlds Classic Space for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Neo Defiant Honor for the PS4. And Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap for PS4.
Oh man, you saying Fortnite
Fortnite.
makes me have to oops myself.
Uh-oh.
Oh, why?
I was on a podcast this last week called Super Best Friends Video Game Sleepover,
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
which I've been on twice before. This is my third time on there.
Nice.
I'm trying to get my Alec Baldwin on.
I was going to say,
Yeah, right, man.
when it comes to that
5 times
podcast.
plus.
Exactly. He's hosted SNL, I think, the most out of anybody.
Yeah.
And that podcast is great. So I wanted to give that one a shout out too. I know. So me and Chris were both getting our guest on this week.
Nice.
That's right. That's awesome.
Yep.
Love it.
And they come out every fortnight. So
Ah.
that's why I wanted to mention that.
Fortnite.
They are every 2 weeks that podcast comes out.
Nice.
Very cool.
So it's episode 74.
Yeah, it takes
Oh,
a
there
long
you go.
time to organize a sleepover. So
That's
right.
right.
It really does, especially as adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who's watching the kids? Am I bringing a sleeping bag? Are we spooning?
Right. What?
What?
Right. What? Wait, what? Ladies and gentlemen, we got MPD for June. Let's do this. June.
Yeah.
And it was a good month. It was a strong month for the gaming industry. PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch are selling well, and a bunch of fighting games and console exclusives helped amp up software revenues.
I like it.
Consumers spent $765 million in the United States last month. So
Wow,
that's
a lot of money.
That is up 7% from last year, from $712 million. So hardware was $231 million, up 27% from last year. Console software was $343 million, up 1%. PC software, $32 million, up 2%. And dear sweet little accessories always seem to be down, $159 million, down 1% from last year.
That's not too bad.
No, that's not bad. So we had an up month, which is great. Top games for the month of June, number 10, Horizon Zero Dawn is still there.
Hey,
Nice.
you go.
Since February. That's pretty great.
Wow.
Number 9, NBA 2K17. Number
Yeah.
8, Overwatch.
Nice.
Number
7, Mario Kart 8.
Ooh.
Okay.
Number 6, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the
I
Switch.
thought it'd still be
I know.
top 5 at
Right.
least.
Well, look at this one, too.
Interesting.
Number 5, ARMS.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
Nice.
Number 4, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Oh, right.
That was fast. That
Yep.
just came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3, GTA 5, of course.
Oh, my
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Number 3.
Who is buying that game still?
Number 3, well, about 12-year-old boys probably, I believe, are probably
Exactly.
playing that game.
Learning the ways of the world.
Learning the ways of the world real fast.
Exactly. The girls,
That's how you punch a stranger.
yeah, girls in high school, girls in middle school and high school only get to choose the bad boy now.
Yeah.
Mommy,
No
what's
more good
heroin?
kids.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, number 2, Injustice 2.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
And here's the kicker. Number 1, Tekken 7. takes the top spot in June.
Whoa.
I get it. The kicker because it's a fighting game. I get it.
Oh, wow.
Boom. So I love getting MPD. That's always fun. We had one oops.
Uh-oh.
At Nick Cooper, Diablo 3 is couch co-op, and there is a story you can play up to 4 at a time on the same screen. It is amazing. So everybody's still harping about the whole Diablo 3 thing, and so.
And I think
weren't we asking
console only?
Is it really?
We may have been asking.
I don't think it's same screen on PC. I could be wrong.
Well, but does anybody
console.
play their PC like, hey guys, come on, let's come play my PC game? Does anybody really do that? On the PC
I can't
side?
imagine, like, here, I got a spare keyboard.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. There's a mouse.
It is a niche market.
Let's hook up these 5 keyboards and mice.
Niche market, baby.
This is going to be awesome.
You got wires everywhere. Friggin' fire starting behind the monitor.
That's hilarious.
Like 18 mice.
Exactly.
Good
stuff.
Swap out batteries every single time you want to play Diablo.
Exactly. And that is it for me. Back to you guys.
Chris McCracken.
Well, last Friday, it was briefly possible to pre-order the Super Nintendo Classic Edition at Walmart. Pre-orders went live about 11:30, and after about half an hour of being live, they went out of stock. And then it turns out that
time.
What?
Yeah, that seems like a pretty decent amount of time.
That's too long.
Of course, I didn't get to jump in because I didn't even see the message that it was on there until the next morning. But I was like, oh, well, serves me right for, sleeping.
I tried to hook you up.
Yeah, I know you did. And then, but it turns out,
as fast as I could.
It turns out that they had released that pre-order early on error, or at least so they're saying. So they're actually starting, for some people, they're starting to cancel the pre-orders.
Wow. That's right.
Now, I have been hit up by a few people on Twitter that said they were able to get in and make a pre-order, and they're like, mine hasn't been canceled. So hopefully, as a lot of you out there that were able to get in there and get it, you don't get your pre-order canceled, but it's looking like Walmart's definitely dishing out some cancellations.
What
to
the
some
heck?
people. And they're saying things like unverifiable payment and weird reasons, but really it's just that they goofed and went live early.
Yeah, wow. I did see that like a lot of people got to the processing part, which it stays there until it ships. But because you don't get charged for it until, it actually comes out.
Yes.
And so that's what's weird about the unverified payment part, because they don't take payment yet.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they shouldn't be running your card. But so some people got the email that said, hey, you got the pre-order. And then soon after got the, hey, never mind.
Canceled.
Yeah, sorry. And so there is some people in our community that haven't gotten that second email yet. So I'm curious to see what happens with that.
Fingers crossed for all those people.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. But that was weird. It definitely, like, for those of us that know how these things go, I was kind of sniffing around like, this is up for too long. Like the fact that, like, I saw the message, then I could go to the website, then I could send it to Chris and it was still up. Well, and then all of a sudden, go ahead.
Yeah, not only that, like nobody else was pre-ordering it. It was only Walmart. I was just like,
Me too, and I know that it's kind of up. I would think it's up to the retailer when they decide to let things go for pre-order or not. Because I know GameStop, does things at different times than like Amazon and Best Buy a lot of times. But like, yeah, I thought that was weird that it was just Walmart by itself. But I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to get a jump on it, or whatever. It would boost your sales to be the only one doing that. But it'll be interesting to see if they cancel everything, because they do still have the landing page up now, and it says out of stock instead of like coming soon or get notified. And so, maybe they did. Maybe they're gonna. We'll see if they honor, the certain ones. It'd be really interesting.
That's crazy that was a slip up.
Yeah, how do you slip that up?
I don't know. I bet the game company did that on purpose.
I'm sure they did.
So there's a Nesta, which I guess is some kind of research people over in the UK.
Okay.
Ooh, what do we have?
They took a survey of 10,000 British adults that were all gamers to see how gaming affected their daily lives.
Yeah. And
this was very interesting, and I don't know if this is everywhere, but our community kind of shows this too, I think. So they said that when when they took a survey of these 10,000 adults, they said that they found that gaming does not negatively affect your social prowess, and that people are more culturally engaged as well when you're a gamer than if you're not a gamer.
See, Mom?
Yeah, right. Take that, Mom.
I'm just kidding. My mom never gave me a hard time for gaming.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was interesting because they said, I guess because gamers are also kind of lumped into tech people, that people that game are more, they're more aware of what's going on culturally because they're constantly like reading things and taking in tech news. And when you take in tech news, then you kind of take in regular news on the periphery and stuff like that. And I thought that was really interesting. They said it also had a positive educational impact on the players, and indicated that players who played games growing up went on to obtain better qualifications than those who didn't. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, man.
See that, Mrs. Anderson?
Mrs. Anderson.
No.
Which grade was that?
I don't know. I made her up. But anyway, what I was going to say, that is very interesting because back in the day, video gamers were considered a lot more of like the introverted kind of geeky nerds. And I think now with our wonderful technology and multiplayer, I think it's so much more of a social platform now. And I totally get that. And it makes absolute perfect sense to me that I think that has shifted dramatically since the rise of multiplayer. In that you are no longer an introvert really, because you kind of get forced into socializing with other people because you're playing the same game and you're with like people that enjoy that. So I think that helps break those walls down of people who may be insecure or may be a little bit more introverted. And I love that about games. I think that's amazing.
It was an interesting read because it was kind of talking about how they're more culturally engaged with other cultures as well. And so they were saying that that people who play are greater consumers of culture, just period, and more likely to read, paint, visit the theater, explore heritage sites, and things like this. I just thought that was really interesting.
Really cool.
It linked to a bunch of things outside of gaming as well, which obviously is a big duh. Of course, like I don't know anybody that just games and sits in their house and games, but it showed like some of the other things that people were involved in. This is the UK. It would be interesting to see what, because, here in America, they're like, video games are keeping men out of the workforce. You know what I'm saying? You're like, come talk to Married to the Games, Doc.
Seriously.
We have a whole community of people that work to game, not game and don't work.
Right.
Exactly.
I was just going to say that makes sense also, when you talk about people being invested like in the arts and what have you, because a lot of people view gaming as an art as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, definitely, I think that's awesome.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, Ed. You read my mind.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Great minds.
Look at
Dang psychic.
Stutter alike.
that. What else you got, Christopher?
So this past week was Pokemon Go Fest
Oh, Lord, have
in
mercy.
Chicago's Grant Park.
Dude.
There's about 20,000 people there, and it did not go so well.
No, it didn't. What the heck? How do people not get ready for this? How do you not get ready?
Well, I mean, part of it was connectivity problems because of mobile networks that couldn't handle the traffic. But on top of that, servers for Niantic's game were just totally destroyed.
Overloaded.
And they couldn't do anything. In fact, I saw one tweet where somebody that was at the event, and they have a video and they're showing the stage, and someone's up on the stage and they're like chatting about Pokemon Go or whatever like that. And the crowd's just starting to chant, "We can't play."
Oh my gosh.
I'm just like,
that's
my
a problem.
gosh. And she's being a trooper, the lady up there. She just keeps going. But I'm just
Oh
like,
my
oh my
gosh.
goodness. I
Here's
just
the
can't
thing,
even
though.
imagine.
They sold tickets to it.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
So
they
like,
did.
it's not like it's not like a surprise that all these people were getting on the servers. Now, I understand the mobile network side of things. It's not like
Yes.
Verizon and Sprint are going to get together and be like, "Hey, they're about to have a big Pokemon Go thing,
Yeah.
so we should probably."
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up.
But for Niantic, you have the numbers. You know how many tickets sold to this thing.
Yep.
Get ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did try to do a few things, as you can imagine. They did expand the radius so that people that actually left the event could still catch all these like rare Pokemon that were supposed to be a part of the event and didn't have to be in the epicenter of it.
Was it the legendaries?
I don't know for sure if it was legendaries, but I know a bunch of really rare Pokemon were supposed to be there. And they did come out and say, Niantic said that they are giving everybody that attended a refund, and they're giving everybody that attended $100 credit in Pokemon coins.
Are you serious?
Wow.
That's a lot of money out.
That's a good makeup. They lost their.
I'm
they lost
assuming
their
that's
shirts on it.
100 real dollars instead of just 100 coins, because that would not be very good. I'm going to assume
Go
that.
get yourself something nice.
Right.
But it's just
100
it's so
real dollars
crazy.
worth of coins.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what that's the way the article reads. I'm hoping that's what it actually is. But it's so crazy because the thing with Niantic is that, like, when Pokemon Go hit, like, you guys know, y'all played it. I for sure know because me and Stacy played for a really long time. Like, this game set the world on fire. And from the get-go, it's just been like oh, look how popular this is, but at the same time, oh, look how broken this is.
Yeah.
And so at the, like, culmination and, like, the celebration of Pokemon Go, it's like, of all the places, they should have really had it together here. and you know, I'm not somebody over here that's like, I know what it takes to do it. You know, I have no idea.
Right.
I don't know what they're up against. But all I know is you've got to put your best foot forward. And good golly, did they not seem to do that?
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Like, I can, but I can't.
Like, I feel bad
Right.
for them, you know?
Yeah, I
It's
do
got to
too.
be just
And
heartbreaking.
and I'm sure they lost money on this whole event, which was probably supposed to generate a lot more revenue for them.
when you refund everybody's ticket.
That just negated all of that. So live and learn. I mean, hopefully next year if there is a next year, they'll make sure that they do it right. But I mean,
There's some guy
chalk it
back
up
at
to learning.
Niantic in the meeting room, and he's looking at the whiteboard where they wrote everything, and on the part where it says what they're gonna do with the money they make from Pokemon Go Fest, he's just like erasing that out.
Yep. Yep. Just take that out. That's not going to happen.
Back to the drawing board.
My gosh.
Insane.
There's part of me that wishes I still played that, but I'm kind of glad I don't.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm straight.
I had a lot of fun when it worked. I had a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Playing it with Stacy was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I guess if Jenny would have got into it, that'd have been obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw this next story because of Eduardo.
What?
Posted it on his Twitter. There's a dad that's going to put everybody to shame. He built a functioning, walking, life-sized diva mech
Oh, I saw this too.
from Overwatch
Yeah.
for his daughter.
And there was a video of it walking down the road.
Yeah, it looked
Yes.
amazing.
And so, I mean, she can get in it. She's laying in it the same way Diva is in her mech in Overwatch. It can walk. The Gatling guns spin around. He's got steam and smoke coming out of
Wow.
it. There's LED lights all over the place. I mean, I was like, how do you even, like, where do you start?
Right.
How do you even do something like that?
Yeah.
So it costs under $1,000 to make, which sounds like a lot of money, but like kind of for what you're getting.
When you look at it, you're like, that's pretty impressive that he didn't spend $1,000 on that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if we were to sell it, it'd be, a grip of money.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know. It's just so impressive to see somebody just in their garage
Yeah.
make a diva mech.
Right? It's like,
It's
finally,
it's
BattleBots are
insane.
cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know where she goes with this thing, other than everywhere.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, Dad, just going to the store to get some eggs.
Right.
I mean, isn't that like, that's got to be like Halloween for the rest of your life, right?
I know. Jeez.
Exactly.
I'm going to be Diva again this year.
Yeah, exactly. That was like me and Michael Jackson when I was a kid.
Right.
My mom was like, that jacket doesn't fit anymore. I'm like, it's fine. Michael Jackson it is.
Although I hope for the dad's sake that after like 2 months, it just isn't like in her closet, just sitting there. And he's like, hey, remember that diva thing I spent forever working on? Why don't you put that on and run around for a little bit?
That's right.
You go terrorize the neighbors.
Right.
And so, I don't know. It's got a sound system. It's got, I mean, it's crazy. You got to go look it up. He goes by Retro Resource on Reddit.
That's amazing.
And you can obviously find it on YouTube.
People
but
are
it's
so
pretty
smart.
Incredible.
Man.
People are very smart.
I mean, people that can just build things like that, it's just like, man,
Right?
it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah, if you guys...
I can't even draw that.
Right. If you guys could make a cosplay this intense, what would it be?
Oh, man.
I'd have to do Junkrat. I'd stay with Overwatch, and I'd do Junkrat if it's going to be that over-the-top crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I'd have like a little tire on a string that could come back and spin around and terrorize children.
Chris, you have one?
It would be one of two things. It would either be the Cyborg Ninja outfit from Metal Gear Solid, or I would actually make one of the Metal Gears, the mechs. If I could do
nice.
That.
Metal Gear.
I wouldn't be in it, and it wouldn't be that big, but that'd just be awesome. I'd love that.
That's awesome.
Tim?
I have no idea. I mean, when we were at E3,
Make a Thunderjaw.
I love that. No, the Watcher that they had at
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
that
cool,
was cool.
too.
I would do that. Was really cool. And now that I've actually played the game and understand it a little bit more, yeah, I'd do something like that. Maybe a Thunderjaw or something. That'd be really cool.
Nice.
I think I'd have to go with an Iron Man outfit.
Oh,
like if I had the means to really make something like this, I think I'd go with Iron Man.
That's cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. That would be very, very cool.
Something that covered my face so I could walk around with confidence.
You and the face
Iron Man
cover.
wasn't black.
Exactly.
Shut up.
Exactly. Oh, what else you got, Christopher?
All right, Tim.
Yes.
Look, you can stop sending your angry tweets to Telltale, okay? Just leave them be. They're giving you your Wolf Among Us Season 2.
So excited.
I
so
cannot
nervous.
believe that.
I cannot wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah, they actually, their release video about it was them reading angry tweets from people
That
to
was
set
funny.
it up. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Really
I missed that. I gotta
Really
check that
brilliant
out.
video. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm signed up on their email list, so I got that email and I scrolled down. I'm like, oh, there it is. Sweet Lord, thank you so much.
And along with this, they also announced that they're coming with Batman: The Enemy Within, which is its season 2, as well as season 4,
Great
the final season for The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was the final season.
Yeah, I didn't realize either. I mean, I guess it makes sense because I think they're kind of billing it as like this is the close of Clementine's story in a way.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But I wasn't ever thinking, oh, it's going to be 4 and it's done. I'm sure that because it's been so successful, I feel like The Walking Dead, they've been their most successful of them all. They'll probably have some new version of it with some new season 1 that goes along, I would assume. But out of all these 3 that they announced, definitely the most attention is being given to The Wolf Among Us 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, Tim, I remember you screaming about it forever, it feels like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did anybody else feel like a complainer when they saw it? Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, man, see, finally, what took them so long?
Oh, no.
Why am I complaining? Just be happy that you're getting it.
I was thrilled. I'm like, I saw it and I'm like, yes! Oh, finally!
I just got so nervous. I always liked the fact that it was, because it was so good that it was just like one and done. Kind of like with The Last of Us. I got nervous when I heard they were going to do a sequel because I'm like, oh, the first one's so good. You know,
man.
So I was like, oh, man, please be good.
I know.
I got to say,
I'm trying to remember if it was actually really good or it was just like, my memory, because I remember it playing terribly.
Yes, I remember mechanically it was horrible.
And so I'm like, did I actually really like it?
I'm really excited for Batman because I loved that one too. Batman was really, really good. I got to play that, and it's kind of up there too for me. It's weird. I've kind of phased out of Walking Dead, even though that was like the first one. You can't beat season 1. It was just amazing. And then once Wolf Among Us came along, that got me hook, line, and sinker. And then and then I had taken a huge hiatus from Telltale, and then the first one I picked back up was Batman, and loved it. It was so good. So I'm excited for what they're doing now, and they don't have to rely on the Walking Deads anymore. They've got great writers now and good stories and good characters to follow. So this is all good news. I'm very, very excited.
Mm-hmm. Would you guys like to see them do an original, or do you like that everything is from something else?
I would like to see them take a stab at it, definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it if they did something original.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, I was like, is my love for it because I'm already in love with the characters or the universes they're portraying? Like, I've never seen Game of Thrones, and so I wasn't drawn to that one.
Yeah,
right.
But like the Batman one, I really wanted to play. Walking Dead, obviously, and then when they did Minecraft, is something that already exists. I first heard of Telltale, I think, because they did Back to the Future, and then they did Jurassic Park. Yeah, and so I'm like, I wonder what it'd be like if they did their own thing. Like, would it be, they did the Handsome Jack thing. I mean, the Borderlands thing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Tales from the Borderlands. Yeah, I think I would definitely be up for something like that because I think they tell really good stories given the topics and the themes that they have now. But yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I would be all over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sweet. Is it my turn or your turn?
You.
I think it's my turn. So for those of us that are dads or for those of us that play with headphones and might have roommates, Jurassic Junkie Live is a streamer on Twitch, and he was playing Outlast 2. I think we've probably all seen the clip by now. Number one, he's playing Outlast 2 with headphones on. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And then his little girl comes into the room as he's playing and scares the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And it's become the most watched clip in Twitch history.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Really? I haven't seen it yet. I've heard about it.
You haven't seen it, Chris?
I haven't seen it.
It's good. It was perfect timing, too.
Yeah. And so on Twitch, it's gotten 1.5 million views. And or obviously well over 1.5 million views. And then, there's iterations of it all over the internet because people have turned it into a GIF or
so good.
Brought it over on YouTube. And it's just so funny because he's already playing a scary game. And it seems like this is what Twitch was built on, was people playing scary games and people watching people play scary games.
Right.
I think PewDiePie and a lot of those bigger YouTubers started by recording themselves playing scary games. Yeah. And so this one, he's playing Outlast 2, and it's just like, it's just so good.
Yeah, it is.
So good when he gets scared by this little girl and then picks her up and you're like, oh, that's what's going on. And you feel like you've seen a version of this before with like a dog or a cat, scaring somebody. But the child thing is just so funny because it's so opposite of what he's doing.
Right.
So the juxtaposition of him playing Outlast 2 and then getting scared by this little blonde white girl is just so good. Oh, it's so great. I love it. Chris, you've got to check it out. It's so funny.
I'll definitely go check it out.
He's shaken to his core, for sure. What else you got, Christopher?
I am out, good sir.
Oh, okay. I've got one more. Splatoon 2. You can, buy different clothes and things like that to put on your, squid or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're really called. And you can buy knockoff Yeezys, pretty much.
What?
That is hilarious.
They have a shoe in the game called the Norimaki 750s, and they look a whole lot like the Adidas Yeezy 750s.
That's funny.
And so, same thing with the strap across the shoe. And they're Yeezys for sure. And so I just thought it was hilarious that Splatoon 2 has Yeezys in them. They can't call them Yeezys, but they're Yeezys. No. Yeah.
They didn't even come close to calling them that.
No, exactly. They know better. And if you want to learn how to make video games, you can get the 0 to Hero Game Developer Bundle and learn how to make video games. There's 9 courses, 426 lessons. And so it was going for $1,500. Why it's on this steep of a discount, I have no idea, but it's available right now for $50.
What?
So it's 83 hours of training on industry standard tools and tech. So if you want to check that out.
Holy cow.
The 2017 0 to Hero Game Developer Bundle.
Maybe I'll learn how to make video games.
You might need to. Sarah's gone for another 2 weeks. So
Yeah, no, get on it, Ed.
Make us a game, clown.
Uncharted 5, here you go. It's mostly stickmen, sorry.
Yeah, Ed, you're welcome. Yeah, all voiced by Ed. He's doing the Eddie
That's
Murphy,
right.
the Nutty Professor version.
And be like,
That's
Nathan,
right.
yeah, man. Let's go climb this ride. All right, man.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's good.
Ed, what's going on over at the YouTube channel? Or unless you have anything else you want to talk about first.
No, over on YouTube, brand new there, we've got What Remains of Edith Finch. That entire series is there, parts 1 through 12.
Woo.
There's a part on a swing that freaks me out still to watch it. You got to watch that. Just, that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Mafia 3 DLC Sign of the Times, part 1 through 7. That main storyline is all up there.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it again.
Thank you.
See, I always think of Prince when I hear Sign of the Times. Was that a Prince album or a song?
Yes.
Yes, it was, but
Okay.
it's just because Homeboy's got that song on the radio right now. It's the only reason I think.
Right. Let's see your top 10 YouTube videos, combining the average watch time and views for the week of July 18th through the 24th. Number 10.
Watch Dogs.
Pretty much. 1 through 10, Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Number 10, Hue Part 11, The Ending. Number 9, Drawful 2 gameplay.
Ooh, what?
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Somebody do that recently?
I think no, but I think what happened is Jackbox has been streaming a lot of. They're about to come out with a new party pack, and so
nice.
I think they're starting to get on people's radar again, and that's maybe what I think it might be. I'm not sure why that's up there. Number 8, Married to the Games, episode 253, Pokey Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Sniper Elite 4, Part 3, San Celini Island, Destroy Cameras.
Cameras.
Right.
Number 6, Watch Dogs 2, Part 5, Bottom Dollar Fail. Number 5, Watch Dogs 2, Part 6, Bottom Dollar Complete. Number 4, Ori and the Blind Forest, Part 14.
Swamp!
Swamp.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, snap. We back up on that podium.
Back on that podium.
Telling you, step aside.
Hanging in.
Number 2, Watch Dogs 2, Part 48, Ghost Signals. And number 1, Watch Dogs 2, Part 19, Paint Job.
Nice. Now I have to go watch Paint Job.
I'm telling you.
I like it. Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, what is your favorite free-to-play game? Free-to-play game. Starting over on the forum. Nick Fallhaber. I guess I have to say Pokemon Go since it's the only one I play.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. That'll work.
I wonder if he went to Chicago.
Curious.
Robert Darrell Good Jr., always good for the forum. If we're talking about free to play, as in no subscription necessary, MMOs call that free to play now, I have to say Elder Scrolls Online. Other than a few breaks I get from it when I'm Minecrafting with the kids or trying out game demos here and there, it's all I play lately. I'm on the verge of level capping my 7th character. If we're talking free to download in the first place, I'd have to go with Warframe. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of
been
good
free
stuff
for a
about
long
Warframe.
time. I know. I think it's growing. You know?
Yeah, I dipped
they've
my
added
toe
so
into
much.
that game when the PS4 first dropped because it was one of the launch games, but I haven't gone back. But I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
Their company goes to the company I use for voiceover.
Oh yeah.
And so I've tried to get on that game a million times. It hasn't worked yet.
Oh.
Wolfman Smite. It's a MOBA. So it has all the same joys and issues common with all MOBAs. With this one, I enjoy the theme and accessibility from PC and consoles. While completely enjoyable as a free game, it is the one free-to-play that I invested money in, purchasing the God Pack, as I've invested a lot of time and wanted to pay the studio for the work they developed.
That's awesome.
That's the same
great.
studio that makes Paladins as well.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they make both of those games.
I like it. Mark Boucher over on Discord. I know it's been around for a hot minute, but Words with Friends is where it's at for me and my family.
Oh, I haven't played that in forever.
I know, right? I forgot about that one.
I love that. Kaboski, morning crew. Mine would have to be Paladins. Every time I get the chance to play a multiplayer game, I usually get a round or two of it in.
Very cool.
It's compared to Overwatch a lot, but there's nothing wrong with the other great shooter to have on your game library. I bought the Founders Pack for this game, and I say it's worth the price for it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And Cat Jack said, staring at it, staring at the box. That video games. That's definitely free to play. That's super free to play.
Right.
Over on Twitter, we got at G Hammocks 14.
Okay.
At G Hammocks 14. Warframe is actually pretty good now. I just downloaded Crossout on my PS4. You guys heard of it? I thought not.
I've not heard of it.
That would be correct.
That's funny. Yeah, Warframe. At Calmed Fury. Hearthstone is one of my top 5 games of all time.
Yep.
Excited to see the new card reveals today for the expansion Knights of the Frozen Throne.
Ooh, that's right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's looking cool, literally and figuratively.
That's right. Well played, Chris. Well played.
Chris, you.
Mile High Messiah at Messiah Gamer. Even though I don't really play anymore, I'll go with Smite since I put close to 1,000 hours.
Wow,
in it. Probably.
That's a lot of hours in a free-to-play game.
Yeah, that is a lot of hours
in any game, technically.
Exactly. That's up there with Chris. With that old
Chris and Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got to have a few hundred in Hearthstone by now. So.
Oh yeah, you've got to.
Got to.
I did check how many hours I put into Destiny Vanilla. Any guesses?
You put in
80.
75.
93.
94.
You can't guess twice.
Right?
I'm kidding. I originally said 80.
Whoever said 75 was the closest.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
What do I
There you
get?
go, Chris.
69 hours.
Oh, very
wow,
nice.
nice. Holy cow.
So that's a couple days.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll take it. It's not 1,000 or 1,200 like Chris McCracken.
You know, it's not a competition. It's all about having fun.
It's not a competition, but it is.
Yeah.
But I am the winner.
But I am the big winner. What is my prize?
And enter spreadsheet.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. You can find us on our website, marriedtothegames.com. Come check out the forum. Over on YouTube, like Ed said, youtube.com/married to the games. And now on Patreon, patreon.com/MTTG. Come get on some of this sweet, sweet, sweet Discord love.
Woo!
Sweet.
I love those commercials.
I know, me too.
Yes, the sweet
Little sweet.
I think that commercial is. I think those things are so funny. I don't know why.
I love them. Yeah, I think they're great.
And I'm glad that Justin Guardolini got a job. Whoever his last name is. It's hard to remember the second place winners on American Idol, and it's even harder to remember the second place winners from the very first American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
And that's
exactly.
where he's from. Chris.
I love it.
Rate us on iTunes because Gabe's a jerk. No.
Leave it.
Done.
Leave
No,
it.
don't say anything
Leave
else.
it.
That's it.
Okay.
Leave it. That's it. That's it. Done.
That's how you play the
Well,
game.
let's get into some questions.
I knew it was coming back to me. I was like, doggone, he's going to call on
That's
me.
awesome.
That was perfect. Oh, good stuff. All right, let's get into some questions, shall we? We'll start with Discord. Arctic Warlocks. I really like this week's Ask MTTG thumbnail. So my question will be about Ready Player One. I'm a huge fan of this book and have asked the question to you guys. If you have read the book when Hall was still on the show. I know at one time, Tim, you said that you have that book on your nightstand, but have not gotten to it yet. maybe currently packed away as you are at the in-laws, I'm assuming. And I think Ed is passing. You said you tried it but was not drawing you in the beginning, or Will Wheaton was putting you asleep. All this being said, I'm hoping that you all saw the trailer, or this is going to be a bad question for you guys. Knowing nothing about the book and seeing the trailer with a dozen references of sorts in gaming, movies, and pop culture, will you go and read/listen to the book before the movie comes out?
I did think of doing that.
Really?
On the cruise, one of my buddies' wives, or one of my buddies' wife. He only has one wife. I just don't know how to say buddy's wife.
I was hoping.
She picked it up. Not a gamer. She's a big Pokemon goer, but not a gamer. And she picked it up and could not put it down the whole cruise. Every time I saw her, she was holding it.
Yeah, you don't have to be a gamer to get into it. That's for sure.
Nope.
Yes, and so she loved it, and so she's been reading the mess out of it. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay. Yeah, that looks dope. And you see all the little pop culture references in there, and you're like, my gosh, what a nightmare so cool. for a studio to have to deal with that licensing. But it really made me want to like maybe get it on Audible or something.
Yeah, I think it is packed away right now. It sat there for a while. I do need to read it. I saw the trailer and I was like, huh. And that was about it for me. Like I didn't get like super excited about it. But it's Steven Spielberg, and you really can't go wrong there. So I will definitely go see it in the movie theaters regardless, just because if anybody who can do it and can probably deal with all of the licensing issues, it would be Mr. Spielberg, because he'd be like, hey, we want to use this. And they're probably like, sure, no problem.
Right. Yeah. We have Mr. Spielberg on line 1.
Yeah.
Tell him he can have whatever he wants.
And I'm going to change my pants now. Thank you. Right. Yeah. So, if anybody can do it, it would be him. And so that's what's exciting about this. But if it was anybody else, I'd probably be like, sure. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll be seeing that junk.
Yeah. I'm about 3/4 of the way through the audiobook. And it's a long audiobook, which is fine.
It is.
Yeah. But it's definitely not. Yeah. I've listened to it for a while now, just because I can only listen like an hour at a time while I'm doing other things. Yeah. And it's not good for driving necessarily, because I have to really be in the mood for an audiobook while I'm driving. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
That's the best place to have an audiobook.
Why do you have to be in the mood?
Well, just because like sometimes if I'm a little drowsy or tired of driving, I need music to keep me going rather than
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I probably won't finish it intentionally before the movie, just because the books have so much more detail, and I don't want to spend my time watching the movie like, well, actually they forgot this and they didn't put that in. Yeah. And so I wouldn't mind seeing the movie and then reading the book, because I always enjoy the book more anyhow.
That's kind of the situation for me. I'm sorry to jump in. I've not read the book or seen the trailer, but that is almost always the case where people are like, yeah, but the book was so much better. So since I don't have, I'm just like, well, if the movie's around the corner, I might as well just watch that. And then if I'm so inclined, go read the book and get an even better experience, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So here's a question. And I've never done an audiobook before, but does your imagination get sparked the same way with an audiobook as it does as if you were reading it yourself?
Yes. To me, it does. I mean, I definitely have everything pictured in my head of what's going on and all the locations and what have you.
In the audiobook that you're reading or listening to, do they have voices for the characters, or is one guy reading the whole thing?
Yeah, it's Will Wheaton reading the whole thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And then does he put accents and stuff in there? I mean, in
Not
the sense of
really.
like, does it sound like intense when it's intense, or is it just he's just reading it?
He definitely isn't. He's not just reading it, but he's not like the guy who did the Harry Potter ones where he's actually doing voices.
Right. And I would honestly prefer not doing voices and keeping it, maybe just change your vocal inflection a little bit. But I prefer narrators to kind of keep it the same, because that's how I would read it in my voice anyway. I wouldn't change it up.
Right.
But man, I will say one of the audiobooks that I listened to when I was driving down to Florida was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and it was awesome.
Oh, the historical book.
I love
that.
It did not put me to sleep. Like I love that kind of stuff, because I can listen to both music and and vocal or any type of audiobook when I'm driving. I just love to hear something other than Piper saying that she's hungry or has to go potty or anything like that. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff. So I can see myself listening to this book. I think that would actually be a pretty decent idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking on audible.com. The length for the one by Will Wheaton is 15 hours and 46 minutes.
Yeah. Which makes you think,
which is an hour longer than the other one that they have.
Really? It's like how I can't imagine.
I wonder what makes it an hour longer.
Maybe just his speed that he reads in.
Yeah, that
probably.
Could be.
Man, gracious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I to answer your question, I do want to listen to it because I want to, and I want to just be in on the thing.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like as a gamer, I just want to be in on the thing, and I'm not.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I understand why gamers are drawn to it, but really, if you're into pop culture at all,
exactly,
then that's because it's not just gaming; it's everything, which is really cool.
Yep, love it.
The commercial, the trailer looks awesome. It looks like they did it right. You know what I'm saying?
I just love seeing the DeLorean, and I'm sure Spielberg was like, I should call the executive producer of, oh wait, that's me. Yeah, you can use that.
Yeah, you can use that.
I love that. Oh.
Speaking of this, and we can go off a little bit on a tangent because it was not asked, but any other Comic-Con trailers strike anyone's fancy?
I saw the leaked Infinity War one because they won't release it. They haven't released it yet. It was cool.
What?
Which one?
What?
Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War, the next Avengers movie. It was shown at Comic-Con exclusively and not going to see it anywhere else for like a month or so. But
really?
Because that's a dumb thing to do, in my opinion. Of course, people are there and they shot it and they leaked it, and so I've seen it. And so...
Yeah.
So why not just release the HD version of what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that's a silly thing to do. I mean, that's like going to PSX and then being like, all right, here's all these trailers for these games. Only you guys here get to see them. That just seems weird to me. But
only you get to see
then you don't
them
get
in
to control
HD.
it.
Everybody else gets to see them on a phone.
I know, right? So their first experience will be much worse.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some of the things I thought were fun was Rocco's Modern Life coming back.
As a series?
I think it's going to be a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Bright, the Will Smith movie.
Okay.
I thought looked good. It's Netflix. It's going to release on the 22nd of December.
It's a movie?
Ooh, okay.
What's that?
Is it a movie or is it a series?
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like a
Love Will
Netflix
Smith.
original movie. I watched because I'm weird and I don't do horror movies, but I did do a lot of the Saws.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Jigsaw was a new movie coming out from that universe.
Oh.
I think that was it for me. Anybody else? Nobody else?
Anybody like the Thor Ragnarok trailer? Was pretty interesting.
You know, it's funny. I didn't watch it for some strange reason. I saw it and like was somewhere where I wanted to watch with headphones or something like that, and never ended up watching it.
That's the one Marvel series I've not watched yet.
That. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I've not watched any of the Thors yet.
The Thor movies have been boring up until this point. I thought I saw the first one. The second one was like I saw a little bit and couldn't keep my interest. But this one looks it looks different. It looks a lot better to me. And then Kate Blanchett is in it. She's the main villain.
Oh, really?
I guess.
Yeah, it's very cool.
This one looks way
they're
better.
just like they're like that's all right. But it's not like what you're used to with Marvel though. Like usually I'm used to being like, woohoo, that was awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are definitely like kind of leave you with like all right. Like you were really hungry and somebody was like, you want some toast?
I mean, the biggest draw for this Thor movie to me is because it features very heavily the Hulk, and the Hulk's like one of the best things in the Marvel universe. Yeah. In the movies anyways. So that alone is like, okay, you've got the Hulk in it, you've definitely got me interested. And then everything else I've seen thus far has kept my interest. So
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, sorry to go off on a tangent there. Moving on, Kabowski, morning crew. What is your favorite sandwich? Hot, cold, it doesn't matter. Favorite sandwich, go.
Wow. Ice cream.
Ooh, look
ice
at
cream
you.
sandwich.
Ice cream sandwich, baby.
That was a good one. I give you that.
I do like that. I will do a turkey and cheese with deli mustard all day, every day.
I don't know if I have a specific sandwich I love. I just like sandwiches. Sandwiches are one of my favorite things to
Me
eat.
too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Take them all.
does a cheeseburger count? That's a sandwich, right?
It could. What about a cheesesteak? That's kind of a sandwich.
I do love cheesesteaks.
Yeah, Philly
it's got
cheesesteak.
the
Even though I don't like the OG Cheese Whiz cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I've never
I'm with
had
I
one.
like the provolone
Yeah,
cheese.
I like me some provolone
Right,
cheesesteak.
right.
There you go. Oh man, I'm hungry.
Sorry, Philly.
I know, right?
It's all good. All good. All right. Great question. That's awesome. Facebook, Josh Stapleton Street Team. Simple one. What's something non-gaming that you're looking forward to?
Just period in life.
Just period in life.
Non-gaming that I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
The Star Wars movies.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Just as far as entertainment. I'm looking forward to Jesus coming back, but I don't know. That's not. I don't know if that's just around the corner or.
It's a little broad. Yeah, but that's fine.
But yeah, I would say the Star Wars movies. I'm really interested in how those all play out. The Han Solo one they're having so much trouble with, and
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So that's something I look forward to every year.
Yeah.
Chris,
Retirement?
Yay! I love
Really?
that. Yes, of course.
Yeah, man. I hear so many people. It's so weird. Like I'll talk to like my stepfather or other people, and they'll be like, some are like, "Oh, I can't wait to retire," and some are like, "Oh, I don't ever want to retire. I always want to do things." Like, man, I would retire tomorrow if I could.
Me too.
I've got plenty of things I could find to occupy my time.
Right.
If I had infinite
I'm living
income
with
and just-
retired folks, and
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
so outside of gaming, what would you do in retirement?
Well, outside of gaming,
So
Yeah,
if you're
you said there's
if you're
plenty of things
retired,
for you to do.
so you're not working and you're retired, what would you do? Would you travel? Would you?
I would definitely
would
do
you
some
do?
traveling. I would do more photography for fun than I do currently. I used to do a lot of for fun photography.
right.
I don't do nearly as much. I would do a lot more video shooting for fun. I don't get to do as much of it, which I have fun doing it as my job, but just for my own ideas and just going and shooting whatever I want to do.
Right.
I would get another car that I would work on and race.
Ooh,
Hey,
There's a
Look at
lot of
you.
stuff that I would do.
Nice.
I like
retirement.
that.
I love that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ed,
Router, what are you looking forward to?
I mean, Tim, you're almost there.
Oh, jeez.
what did you say?
I'm just kidding.
He said you're almost there.
Shut it.
I love you so much, man.
No, I know, man. I'm looking forward to moving into my house, my new house with the
That's a good one.
Right.
with all the trimmings. So that would be great. But I look forward to the changing of the seasons too. Like I love the fall. I think the fall is a great time.
I'm
of
with
year.
you there. I like the fall.
And it's just so much fun. And
And can we get up out this heat?
Yeah, we need to get up out this heat. It has been hot in Nashville. That is for sure. But I love the changing of the seasons, and just I'm looking forward. Honestly, Chris, I am looking forward to just growing older with my family. That's one of the things. Like I love that. I can't wait to see what's in store for us down the road.
Having more time for just family stuff is a great thing to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm living with retired. With my in-laws who are retired, and I'm like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing today?" It's like, "I don't know," and I'm like,
Playing
"I'm
some
really
golf.
jealous." I
Yeah,
miss
that's not-
That's
no.
awful.
I want to do, but I
I
love
do
that
not
because
like that.
and he's one that needs to be doing something, so he'll just go out and water the flowers or go to the post office. Like he'll actually run errands for us too, which is super awesome. But I love that now that they've got the time, they are traveling more. They used to not leave the country ever. When they were, out and working, and now they're going back to Germany. They're going to do another river cruise to Germany next year. They're going to Alaska. I'm super excited for them. So that's very cool.
As a retired person, I just don't like. Maybe it's just because of the way I live now. We live very hand to mouth, what they call it.
Agreed.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Agreed.
Like
Yep.
I don't know how you do anything retired.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm expecting by the time I retire for the government to have squandered any kind of Social Security
Oh
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I put in.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
So I don't know. So oh yeah, but what does that mean? So does that mean I ever get to retire? I got to work till I die.
Well,
well, yes, you do.
I mean, you've got to plan ahead to whatever you can.
Yep,
That's the only way.
Not doing good with that.
Just take care of that voice.
Yeah, just
Yeah, man. It gives you more time for voiceover.
Yep. Drink a lot of hot tea. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got you. Drink a lot of hot tea. Ed, did you have something you were looking forward to?
Just we're doing some traveling coming up this year, and just looking forward to that.
That's great.
There you go.
Looking forward to
always
seeing
good
Mr.
to travel.
McCracken.
Yeah.
Dallas?
McZillas.
Oh yeah, I get to see him. I get to see him too. Hopefully.
Right?
Hopefully I get to
I'll
see
see
all
him.
y'all.
I'll see him eventually.
At
I don't know
Swing
how,
by
but
your
I'll
way
see.
up to Michigan.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Just a slight
Swing
detour.
by
Little
all
fish
the
hook.
way to Michigan.
You do realize that Indiana is between Michigan and Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
It's not like
Yes,
I
sir.
live in Arkansas and I'm saying swing
I
by.
know. No, that's.
Oh, I thought
that's
you were
a
saying
good point.
swing by and see.
No, that's a good point,
Chris.
man. I will.
He can
I
do
will
that too.
definitely want to come say hi to you. That would be awesome.
Yeah, man. You won't.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but we'll see. We shall
I
see.
love it. Good question.
Great question. All right, moving on. Robert Darrell Good Jr. Follow up to last week for those who played Dungeons and Dragons. What was the craziest thing you did or that happened in one of your D&D campaigns? For me, my first character in D&D was a werewolf, which was a tricky thing for the dungeon master to balance and me to use without hurting my party. What made it fun, though, is that no one else knew except our dungeon master, my pastor, which I think is awesome that a pastor is a dungeon master. Went through 2 sessions keeping it a secret, and it was a fun twist when they found out, especially when I almost ate our paladin.
Oh, geez.
Managed to regain control with a saving throw and jumped on a manicore's head while my wife stabbed it to death. Good times. That's so
Nice.
great, man. Man, I wish I played more, like, just as a kid, because it just opens so much to the imagination. And I love that kind of stuff. I would play it now if there was like an adult D&D just get together around here, which is probably hardly unlikely. But I would be there in a heartbeat. I think it would be so much fun to do something like that.
Yeah, I've never played, so I have no stories.
Yeah, I haven't played either.
Yeah. Sorry, Robert. Kind of.
Like, I don't even know what it even looks like.
Yeah.
A dungeon or a dragon?
Both.
Like, is it a board or I don't know. I just
think
don't
it's a
even know what
board.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I think it's
I mean,
notebooks and dice.
Yeah.
Notebooks and dice.
I think so.
Probably. Yeah.
Maybe a
There
chart,
are-
maybe
I
graph
think
paper.
there is
There's
a board,
notebooks.
but I don't know what the board would be for, to be honest. Because it's not
Ooh,
linear,
wait.
that's for sure. You can do whatever you want.
We are
Maybe there's not a
ruining
board.
things for some people.
We're gonna.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know,
we'll
'cause I
get
haven't
loops on
played
this one.
I know, right? It's plywood, you fools.
Exactly. It's drywall.
Drywall and corks.
All right, moving on to Twitter at Jared45. What suggestion will Ed ask for and not listen to this week?
I like it.
Hey, they're
I
still
listened
giving you
to-
hate for Diablo 3.
I listened to him. I just didn't do it.
Exactly.
Oh, see, there you have it. That's
Oh,
another
that's
way to
funny.
look at that.
Yeah.
At Loki Lover
That's funny.
101. What is everybody's favorite indie game?
Ooh.
Wow. I'm going to go with
No.
Edith Finch just because it's new in my mind right now.
Indie
Yeah.
game. Probably oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Probably
So many good
Guacamelee.
ones.
Oh,
That's a good
yes.
answer.
Nice.
Great
I
answer.
really, really liked Guacamelee.
That was a
Yeah,
lot.
it was good.
And that game is tough too.
Yeah, it is.
I played that
Yeah,
on
that's
Vita.
not a gimme. Me too.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
Yeah, I'll say Guacamelee. I'll also say Brothers. The
Oh,
one
yeah.
with I had a really good time with that. It was a little challenging at first, but it was really good, and the story was really good.
Yeah.
There you go.
My favorite, I'm gonna have to say, is Runner 2. I feel like I've
Oh,
spent
yes.
the most time
Oh,
with
yeah.
it, and I listen to the soundtrack when I'm running or when I'm at work doing stuff. I really enjoyed that game and the soundtrack, the goofy stories between Charles Martinet's voice, the characters, everything. I really enjoyed it.
That's such a fun
But
game.
I'm going to do kind of like last week, and I am also going to give a shout out to Journey because I've only played it twice,
Oh,
but I
man, that
really,
was
really
so
liked that game
good.
too.
That
Man,
was
I,
good.
was one of the
I
first-
could not get into that game.
I mean, I can see how someone could not get into it, but for me, it hit all
It
the
was
right
beautiful.
spots. Yeah, I
Yep.
really, really enjoyed it.
What was it? Well, like, what? I don't even like. What did you do again?
Well, you
Jumped a
essentially
lot.
you climbed the mountain. And you start in the desert, and then the goal is to get to the top of the mountain to the point that you keep seeing in the distance.
And it's about the journey. It's just like really okay. Well,
yeah. I mean, it's just about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. I totally understand why some people are scratching their heads and like, huh? But for me,
I'm not dogging it, but I feel like a lot of people really loved it, and so
I want to because it was beautiful.
I like loving things that lots of people like. I'm not one of those people that's like, once an artist goes pop, I'm like, see, exactly,
right.
Yeah,
right,
no,
exactly.
I like enjoying what the masses enjoy, but I just couldn't for some reason. I was like, maybe I just picked bad times to play it. I was just like, well, okay, what am I?
I mean, not necessarily. You just have to be. I mean, it's one of those things that just has to hit you in the right way. Just like there's some movies where people will be like, "Oh my gosh, this movie was so powerful or emotional, or it really spoke to me," and then other people watch and be like, "What? I don't understand. Why did and who the what?" And it just doesn't work for them. I mean, there's not a rhyme or reason. There's not a wrong or a right. It just some people. To me, it just the story that it told of getting to the journey and the emotion that was like gone throughout and meeting people in the world and not really be able to speak, but yet still being able to communicate and work together. Just that experience was something at that point in time. The first time I played it, I had never, I don't feel like I'd ever had an experience like that. And that really struck a chord for me. Yeah. And then the ending to me was very powerful in like an emotional sense. Now, none of that resonated quite as much the second playthrough, which is part of the reason why I don't continuously play it over and over, because I want to have the memory of it. But I would play it again like a third time. I mean, it just really did a lot for me, which I got when I was trying to get Stacy into gaming. That was one of the games I thought maybe she'll like this, which at the time I didn't know she doesn't care about story, but she played it a little bit and she was bored out of her mind. So, you know, I mean, it's just different strokes for different folks. You know?
Honestly, I can see that going both ways. I mean, it's kind of like an everybody's gone to the rapture thing too, where you're expecting something and it's exactly not what that is. And so then you're thrown off and then you're like, well, do I want to keep playing this?
Yeah, I got you.
Nice. Good question. Final question at ShepDog921. We got a lot of Ready Player One stuff. If you were in charge of Oasis, Ready Player One, what from your childhood would make its way into the hunt as an Easter egg?
Wow, that's a lot of stuff I don't know nothing about.
So basically, this guy designed kind of like a VR game / contest, and it was hinged around a lot of stuff that was big to him. So that's why there's so much stuff from the 80s in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so basically, if you designed something, what would be a little hint that you would put in from your childhood that meant a lot?
Oh, there'd be a Buster Sword somewhere.
Oh, yeah, for you? Definitely
around.
For you.
Yeah.
That'd be it's kind of like they put it actually in Final Fantasy 9, I think. You walk into a store and you're buying something and there's a big Buster Sword on the wall. And
That's
you
cool.
can't do anything but look at it. And he goes, I think I knew a guy that had this sword.
Oh, nice.
And that's
nice
it. Like,
twist.
that's the only,
I like that.
Yeah. I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Shed a little tear. Tear.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can see you with a Buster Sword, definitely. Oh man, I don't know, man. I'd throw some Transformers, some G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd throw a Ninja Turtle reference in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. What about you, Ed?
I'd throw in a Muppet and maybe like an Indiana Jones whip or something.
Oh, there you go. A
Ooh,
Muppet.
I like that.
Definitely a Muppet.
I might have a gem and a hologram earring someplace.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I was into the cartoons, boy.
Love them. Yeah. Get a little Bugs Bunny in there, a little Warner Brothers in there.
Oh, yeah.
Get a little Turbo Teen.
Ooh.
Do you guys remember Turbo Teen?
I don't think I know
do.
Turbo Teen.
I don't know Turbo Teen.
Turbo Teen, he like, something with radioactive something or other. And
It's always something with radioactive superpowers.
Right. When he got hot, he would turn into a sports car.
Like Michael Jackson did in his movie?
Exactly.
What?
Yeah, there you go.
He turned into a sports car?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Moonwalker, he turns into like a spaceship or a car or something like that.
How did I miss that?
I don't know. I was a big fan.
Yeah,
a lot of people on drugs back in the 80s and 90s. It's all good.
That's a good question.
Great question. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. That's a wrap for me.
Question of the week for you guys. A little bit of a tough one, not extremely tough. So, what is your favorite story from a game? It doesn't have to be your favorite game. Like, Obviously, Final Fantasy VII for me was one of the biggest games in my life, but I don't really love that story. The story doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's not my favorite story. But what would be your favorite story from a video game? I will start to give these other guys a second to think. And I'm going to go with, I think, BioShock Infinite.
Yep.
I love the way it tied around.
Well played.
I thought the bow on it was great that they put at the ending. I loved the whole thing with you and homegirl that you're trying to save, Elizabeth or whatever her name was. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with BioShock Infinite. I really loved that story.
Yeah.
Ed?
That's the first thing that popped into my head. And because it was a lot like that movie, it's going to sound weird at first. It was like that movie Seven, just because after I watched it, I thought about it for days.
Yep.
And so that's how this was, is just trying to unravel. And I'd go on YouTube and watch explanations and I didn't even pick up on that. And yeah, it was really well done.
I wrote a song about it.
You did?
You sure did.
Yeah, I did.
Yep, that was my prom thing.
That is a really good question, Gabe. I don't know. Like, I like the stories that I like are like, I think I like the good versus evil and the good triumphs, but I always love a twist at the end.
Yes.
Like any time that it can go one way, like you're thinking it's going one way and then it completely turns.
Yeah.
Love that kind of stuff. That's what gets me hook, line, and sinker every time.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an example?
Well, I mean, you said it. Infinite is definitely one of those because
definitely has a twist.
There's such a huge twist to it. But like you could say The Last of Us, but for me, those kind of stories, like I think a lot of like the zombie stories are getting old to me anyway. The Last of Us has some of that in there, but there's also the humanity side of it, which I'm glad they pulled in as well. But any time there is a twist or just a total just switch of this is where I thought I was going, and now the story gets even deeper. So now you have way more hours into the game that you're expecting, and the twist is there, and that always gets me in.
Yep. Christopher,
I don't really know that I can say a definitive one. I mean, there's the ones that obviously come to mind the minute you hear that type of question, like The Last of Us. And it's definitely got to be one of the ones that's up there. But I mean, I really enjoyed, we were just talking about it a minute ago, and even though it's kind of a non-verbal story in a way, like I really enjoyed the story of Journey. I really enjoyed the story of the season 1 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Season 1 was so good.
The Uncharted games, each individually, but then also when you take them as a whole and you see the journey and the story of Drake and how it culminated at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Funny.
That
I was thinking about that, and I don't know if I like appreciate those stories as much as I appreciate those as games.
Yeah. Well, it's been done.
But the story.
That action adventure. Sorry, Gabe. That action adventure story has been done, so I think that's why we're kind of used to that, especially
right. But to Chris's point, I think now seeing it in its completion, I appreciate it more now than I would have 4 years ago. You know what I mean?
Interesting. There's definitely a part of these, to some extent, that's just my attachment to the characters. That definitely, even if the stories maybe have a few pitfalls. But when you're attached to the characters, you can glide past that, and still see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that's kind of the case with Uncharted, because, it's not complete every single one. But when I look at the whole thing, and then the way that Uncharted 4 ended, and then when you just think about the journey, it's just, oh man, it's just was such a fun ride. And so I don't really think I can pick one. I mean,
well, you don't have to pick one, but I just wanted to no, I just want to get out some of those some of your, some of our favorite stories in the sense of because there is a difference, you know what I mean? Like you're saying with Journey, Journey is not like the most, I mean, it is visually very pretty, but it's like it's the most stunning thing you've ever seen before in games. And then nobody talks, but still it grabbed you as a story. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I love that there is a differentiation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even likewise with The Last of Us, I think the storytelling is better than the story itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yep.
And that's why I didn't say The Last of Us, because I was like, well, do I like that story or do I just like the presentation of the of the game itself, how you got from A to B. But I really did like Infinite in the way that it like all played out.
That's a great,
the twists and turns and stuff like that.
Great answer,
because you
man.
could read that as a book and still say that was an amazing story.
Yep.
Exactly. So let us know what some of you guys' favorite stories are. We'll open it up like that, so it doesn't have to be this one story that you land on, because I do understand that that's really tough. So what are your favorite stories from gaming? Can't wait to hear you guys' answers. Thank you guys so much for listening. 254 in the books. It's your boy Gabe Patillo. That's Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we up out this thing. Peace! All right, if you're still listening, we wanted to share this thing that Stacy wrote, and Chris sent it to me yesterday, and I thought it was really fitting, and I thought it was extremely timely, and I'm glad that Chris and Stacy are down to share this. Chris, take it away.
Yeah, this sentiment can be, I could feel safely saying that this is shared by all of us on the cast, but this is definitely straight from Stacy's heart, that she wanted to make sure that the Married to the Games community had this. So here we go. I felt like I was led to share transparently from my heart with you, the Married to the Games community, and my dear friends, some of my chosen family, Gabe, Jenny, Tim, Lauren, Ed, and Sarah. My heart has been so heavy over the loss of Chester Bennington's soul here on Earth, a man I never met and personally never knew. Chester's work had such a huge impact on my own recovery from my personal struggles in life at a time when I was going through a very dark place. I can't help but deeply hurt over someone's light being so dimmed that they would feel the only resort would be to take his or her own life. A precious, precious life put on this earth for a very important reason. I don't know a lot, but rest assured that I do know one thing, and I will go to my grave believing that you are worth living. And no matter how bad things get or may be, you are loved by somebody far more important than anyone on this earth. Heck, at the end of the day, you are loved by me. No judgment, no hate, just love, worthy of living. Life's journey is worth living to its fullest. I beg you to keep fighting, even when your light is flickering in the night. It will be worth it. That's my promise to you.
We appreciate it. Thanks for writing.
Yep.
Thanks for writing that.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe.